And good evening, and time for another deathmatch. So the current champion, had a few defences under their belt, is the Flesh Stalker. So we put them down in the derelict ship. And this time I thought we'd go back to one we tried before, but there's a couple of games we haven't tried out before, and that is the Bile Giant. So you know, obviously there could be a Magma Giant, there could be a Bile Giant, it could be a Wasteland Giant. So let's put them down, and if we then, so there's the character sheet. So if we get the three variants out of the elite, there you go, they're out of the epic, not elite, epic threat deck. Shuffle them up. Let's see which Magma Giant variant we have tonight. Let's choose this one. We've got a Bile Giant. Okay, so it has +1 combat, so -1 combat, +1 damage, -1 defense, and burning becomes bleeding. Okay, so Bile Giant versus Flesh Stalker. So the Flesh Stalker has slightly less hit. It's got 27 compared to the 30 that the Giant is going to have. The Flesh Stalker basic attack is, yeah, it's going to get past its defense. Its defense is 2, so basic attack from here is basically going to be doing 1 damage per, and it basically will do double damage on 6s still. So it's going to do plinks of damage unless it shadow shifts through. Going back the other way, the Magma Giant, which is now of course a Bile Giant, we know is -1 combat +1, so it's going to be 2, doing 4 damage. So doesn't look as if the basic hit is going to do any damage to the Flesh Stalker because it's defensive 4. But because it rolls d8s for hits, and if it gets 7 or more, it ignores defense and adds, in this case, a bleeding. So that means on a 7 or 8, so roughly 1 in every 4 times, it's going to do 4 damage and a bleeding, so effectively 7 damage all at once. And of course the Flesh Stalker's got this ability to regenerate. That's not going to apply to the bleeding. You can't regenerate through the bleeding. As far as we said, this is going to plink it away. After the first hit each time, each hit its defense goes up by 1. So it may, you know, the first one will get through, then the second one won't, and so on. Okay, let's do a prediction. Who is going to win out of the Flesh Stalker and the Magma Giant? Very much dependent on the tools that the Flesh Stalker gets. But you know what? I'm going to go with the Magma Giant. I think the Magma Giant is going to pull this out. Sorry, the Bile Giant is going to pull this out. As I say, Chris, who first suggested the Flesh Stalker, will probably be cursing at me now for his boy the Flesh Stalker, but I think the Giant's going to have this one. I just think that, yeah, I think that the when it does hit, it's just going to do too much damage for the Flesh Stalker to get past. So first round, take a Tool of Terror. What have we got? Slave Pulse. Oh, okay, that's a good one. Any hero that starts activation adjacent to the Flesh Stalker must pass a Spirit 6 or more or lose their activation. So the Flesh Stalker is going on initiative 7, so it goes before the Magma Giant. So yeah, up it will come. Steps up. Takes a swing. So 4 combat. Okay, that is 3 hits. So the first hit does 1 damage. Then the next one, the defense has gone up by 1. So it becomes defense 3 again. Does no damage, does no damage. So it does 1 damage. Check out the Shadow Shift. 4, dances sideways. 5, dances back. 7. That is a swap. So it goes to there, to the Magma Giant. swaps around. So we'll inflict D6. Yeah. Ignoring defense and armor. Yeah. Takes another 3. Unlike the last few enemies, the giant does not regenerate, so it's just a straight count up to for 30. And then it is next to it, so Slave Pulse. Does the Magma Giant get a go? Does it get 6 or more? It does not. Skips its go. Next turn. Go with this one. Slave Pulse again. Good start for the Flesh Stalker. So 4 dice for combat. Okay, we have to decide which one of these happens in what order. Just in case the 6 occurs first, it makes a difference. So I guess 1 or 2, the 6 happened first. No, it didn't. So normal one hits for 1 damage. Then the 6, it was 4, wasn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Then the 6 does double damage. So it does 6 against defensive 4, so it does 2. And then the last one does nothing. Okay. Shadow Shift. 4. Density to the side. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't go 6. 2 swaps. Is that right? Yeah. Goes to there. And everyone's back where they were. Teetering. There we go. D6 damage. 5. Okay, and Slave Pulse. Doesn't get the Slave Pulse. Round 2. Oops. Oh, no, that's a fear one. Let's get rid of the ones that do sanity if they come up. Let's go for this one. Harvesting Syringe. Whenever the Flesh Stalker shadow shifts into a space with hero, that hero takes peril dice damage. So another D6, and the Flesh Stalker heals peril dice. So the healing isn't going to be relevant. But let's do the 4 attacks. Is 1. It's basically, you know, a load of hits, but only one of them is going to do any damage. There we go. Then shadow shifting. 8. Yeah, that's a swap to there. Does peril dice. Number 3. Okay, we're just over halfway there. And then again. 1, 2, 3 steps away for a moment. Okay, and then the next one is an 8. Can't go 8. So Magma Giant finally gets a go after 2 turns. So yeah, it will step up. 2 combat, so 2d8. Hitting on 6 or more, that does nothing, but 7 or 8 will. An 8. So the 8 ignores defense and adds a bleeding. So its damage is 4, so it does 4 damage. 2, 3, 4, and we get a bleeding. Effectively -3. Okay, next turn. Round 4. Let's get to that one. Oh, it's the Harvesting Syringe again. So, also, what's initiative? 7. Yeah, it goes first. 4 attacks. Okay, there's a bunch of hits, so 1 wound. None of them were 6s. And then we shadow shift. 1, it's a swap. So it does peril dice. Does 4. Heals peril dice. Well, there's only. No, there is 4, so it could get 3. No, it heals enough. They're all gone. Magma Giants. 2 dice, 2d8s. Sorry, Bile Giant. Keep getting that. 2 2. Okay, that's 2 8s, so that is effectively 8 damage and 2 bleeding. So we're on 8, 9, so that's 8, so that's 17. 10 more to go. Meanwhile, the Bile Giant is in a similar state, 9 more to go. So, round 5. Ghillie Saw. So yeah, +1 combat, and while adjacent to the Flesh Stalker this turn, heroes rolls a 1 cause d6 wounds to that hero, ignoring defense. So 5 attack. Oh no, initiative. Yeah, 5 attacks. No 6s, so just the 1 wound. Okay, Shadow Shift. Shift number 1 moves away. Shadow Shift number 2 moves even further away. Shadow shifting well away. And then it's there. Okay, Bile Giant steps up. 2 dice. If it gets a 1, it will damage itself. Otherwise, 7s or 8s again. No 1s, but there is an 8. So 4 damage. And a bleeding. So what are we on? We're on effectively, that's 12, and that's 12. So we're on 24. So basically 1 more hit from the Bile Giant, and the Flesh Stalker, it's all over. I think it could probably do with a couple more of those slave pulses or something similar right now. Mind you, a couple of decent shadow shifts in the giant will go down. So yeah, coming to the end game. What have we got? We've got a shock prod. At the end of this move, Flesh Stalker attacks all adjacent heroes. Anytime a hero takes 1 or more wounds from the Flesh Stalker, they gain a stunned marker. Okay. Flesh Stalker goes on initiative 9, so goes first. 4 dice attack. Okay, that's a lot of hits and a crit. Oh well, not a crit, a 6. It kind of matters if the thing is, so I need a d4. So the 6 goes first on a 1, 2, then second 3, 4, then 5, 6, then 7, 8. It does go first, so that goes first. Right. So it hits it with the crit first. Not the crit, because it's immune to crit. Hits it with a 6 first. Hits it with a 6 first. Double damage. So that's 6 damage. Defense is currently 3, so it takes 3. Gains a stun, so defense goes down by 1 as well as up by 1. The next one hits. 1 damage. Gains a stun. The next 2 do not do anything. So there you go, it gains 2 stunned. And it's on, what's that, 26 out of 30? Okay. Magma Giant's turn. Does it get rid of a stunned? It doesn't. 2 dice attacks. There's a 7. Right, let's make sure we get this right. So a 7. Ignore defense and add a bleeding. So 4 damage. And a bleeding. Count it up. 15. That's another 15, 30, 31 technically. Right. That is a dead Flesh Stalker. So that is the end of the Flesh Stalker's run, and we have a new champion. Had a pretty good run. I'll have to see if it's as good as the Raptors. I don't think it was quite, but nearly. So yeah, one ex-champion. No longer the Flesh Stalker. And instead we have a new champion in the Bile Giant. So we'll have to see how the Bile Giant's first defence goes next time around.